crazy thing is, and first of all, she is amazing. I watched her play. She is very, very good. But I asked, just take it. I want to ask a question. Why wouldn't you enter the NBA draft?
Slow
Why?
down.
Why not?
Rogers.
Now,
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, first of all, our team leader, our captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing great. I'm surprisingly, I was in partying the last 2 days, and I am up here fresh as a daisy. So I'm feeling good. Must be a good month.
Well, hopefully you're using CMOS, and that's an inside joke for our academic and athletic consultant for the CKA Save Project, George Ocker. George, how are we with the bounce back, sir? How you doing today?
I'm hanging in here right before I go take my CMOS gummies, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So on Wind Up Wednesday episode, segment 1, ROCP Top 10. I hate getting old. Story of the week is Team USA, so we'll talk about the roster. In segment 2, we will analyze the Charlotte Hornets' plan to go from the bottom to the top. And in segment 3, countdown to the WNBA draft. But first, fellas, top 10, Boston is still number 1. Minnesota's number 2, OKC's number 3, Denver's 4, Cleveland's 5. The clip joint is 6, Milwaukee Bucks 7, New York Knicks 8, Phoenix Suns 9, stop fighting, and the New Orleans Pelicans are 10. In the East, top 6, Boston, Cleveland, Bucks, Knicks, 76ers, and Magic, with 7 through 12, the Heat, Pacers, Bulls, Hawks, Nets, and Raptors, and Bum City, Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons, and yes, Will, you called it last week, the least amount of wins in the East, the Washington Wizards. Will, starting with you, what has caught your eye this week in the NBA Eastern Conference?
Man, Cleveland is really a good playoff team. They have two good, really good bigs. They have Donovan Mitchell. They have Garland. They have George Niang. They have Max Strus, who hit a good game winner. Everybody was showing it on the local news. They're going to be scary good in the playoffs. One team that I watched a lot this week was Boston, and I'm not confident on Jason Tatum. I just don't really feel his game. He's great. Don't get me wrong. This kid is amazing, but he's so programmatic with his scoring. It's not. I'm just. I don't know. It's something about him where I'm not really feeling the Celtics. I know it sounds crazy because the kid is phenomenal, but I saw a chink in the armor, and I just don't know if he has that next level dog in him. I just don't think he does. I'm sorry, I don't know if he does. I don't see it. I didn't see it in the playoffs last year. I didn't see it in the finals when he was in the finals 2 years ago. He just doesn't. There's something missing. I don't know if it's it. Maybe I see it. Maybe George has much better eyes than I have. But I don't think he has it. But everybody else in the East looks like it's rounding up. And the Wizards, I don't know how you become better. I don't even know how to be worse than the Pistons. But I mean, good Lord.
They found a way to do it.
They found a way to be terrible. So that's it on the East.
George, what's going on? What are your thoughts in the East this week?
I'm trying to wake up here. It's a little early. Will just, am I dreaming? I don't know where that came from. I don't know what Cotton's seeing. I don't know, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm at the same place he is with Cleveland. The surprise. I mean, it shot out of nowhere and just came in and taking control. So it's going to be interesting on the way on down. Cleveland kind of did this last year and then faded. When we hit the playoffs, they disappeared.
Yes, they did.
I thought Spider was the man, and then Spider just disappeared. So I don't know. And I don't know where Will's going with the Celtics. That's why I'm just sitting here. Maybe I'm still asleep or something. I don't know where he was going with that because, Tatum has put it together through the playoffs last year. Then he had a bad series there going into the conference finals. He been doing this since he was a rookie when he was dunking on LeBron. So
maybe he's doing it so easily. It looks like like he's doing it so easily. It looks fluke. So to me, I'm just like this can't be that bad that he's guarding them, or
no,
he's just turning the corner where he's becoming elite. And
yeah.
I'm just seeing it away, and I'm just like, oh man, like I can't. The jump was faster than I thought. So I mean,
One
maybe that's what it is.
one thing I realized about Tatum a long time ago, he has what us old dudes used to call when we hit the asphalt, the old man game. He lulls you to sleep, and the next thing
Man,
you know, he'll hit you with that little spin move, and you getting dunked on. Or
man.
it's the step back, and step back looks like it takes an hour, but
Yeah,
but his footwork, especially when he's in the post, if you watch
amazing.
him, his footwork is so good that
So good.
he just gets it done. It's not going to be super flashy as like say Brown or whatever, but I can remember shout outs to Big Ed. Big Ed and I were on the phone, and we look up and they say he's got 39. Did he really? Where did how that happen?
The
So
quiet
Yeah.
39.
yeah. But everybody knows about it now, so they're looking at him, and his game is not super quick, it's not super flashy, and he just puts in work. I can tell you right now, he has a problem. But if he has a problem or gets injured, Boston's done. So
Oh
you
yeah.
got
Oh, yeah.
So he's the straw that stirs that drink.
Word. And I really saw that they have Brown. He is Jalen Brown. He is definitely second fiddle.
Yeah.
Like he thought he was going to be the man to the playoffs, all the stuff. The brother still ain't got a left hand. I don't know how he got that paid with no left hand, but he is handed. He is definitely Robin. Ain't no question. No question.
Yep.
All right, for me, fellas, it's March, and here are the headlines. Knicks are still injured, and Joel Embiid wants to come back. So the Knicks are in the top 6 right now, and they've got some injuries.
No
And
Julius
the
Randle.
Sixers, they got more injuries than Julius Randle, and the Sixers are in the top 6, and they have some injuries. So that gave me pause this week, but we'll move to the West. Top 6 in the West: Minnesota, OKC, young legs run free. Denver, Clippers, Suns, Pelicans are the top 6. 7 through 12, Dallas, Kings, Lakers, Golden State, Utah Rockets, and Bum City, Memphis, Portland, and San Antonio, George. What are you thinking about in the West right now?
Well, I see that Steph and LeBron are going a couple little hot streaks and start winning a few games to stay in the play-in tournament because neither one's climbing out. And I, more than anything, I feel bad for Steph. How you can be, with it, and I think we'll see if it's going to be too little, too late. Kuminga starting around in the form. I think the other night they won and Steph had like 26, 27. Kuminga had like 26, 27. Is it going to be too little, too late? I have no faith in the Lakers right now. They'll make the play. They'll make the play-in game. It might win the first set of play-in game and then get knocked out. But there's nothing. It's been holding chalk for pretty much the entire season where it goes with the teams in the West. One thing I have been seeing, and I want to see if they can keep it up. Quiet is kept. Kyrie and Luka have been playing very well together down there in Dallas. If this keeps up, they're gonna push out of the playoff
Play-in, and they'll get top 6.
Playing game, and they'll be in the top 6. Because if that duo gets hot, they better look out. It's gonna be they're gonna cause some noise.
Right. Will, what are you thinking in the West this week?
Like George said, man, the Mavericks are good. I have both of them on my fantasy team, and Kyrie and Luka is unbelievable. I mean, Luka himself, this dude. I mean, I knew when it was his birthday, I was like, man, this dude going on. You already knew he was going on. Bama had 30, 10, and 12. Something crazy. Denver is still the best team. I don't care what their ranking is, but they're the best team. And they're coming on at the right time. They're beating the right teams quietly. No one is assuming. Everyone's looking at Minnesota. Everyone's looking at OKC, but the old man is coming through and he's beating them the slow game. And Denver is looking really good, man. Everybody is healthy. You know, everybody is explosive right now. They're in sync. They look like they're hitting their run right now. That's amazing right now. The Lakers, I mean, they're so frustrating to watch because people wanted them to believe that they're going to be a playoff team, and I guess they're really not. They're really not a playoff team.
Fool's gold, my friend. Fool's
Yeah,
gold.
it's terrible. It's terrible. But that looks like the West. It looks pretty good. And quietly, the Kings are hanging around. The Kings, they're hanging around, and they're a good team. So we'll see what happens. But I like them.
Okay.
Oh, and then the Rockets. I think we talked about them. The Rockets being surprisingly good. I don't know if they sneak in. I don't know if they hold on to that playoff spot, but young legs, like you said, Coach, young legs will be there. So they'll get some
They
wins.
run free. So for
Mhm.
me, two quick hitters. One, Russell Westbrook has a fracture in his left hand, and the Clippers have been playing well. Is this going to derail them? And two, shout out to LeBron for scoring his 40,000 points in the NBA. Well played, sir. Congratulations. Ain't no hate on my end, but let's go
Do you
ahead.
think? Do you think?
Go
Do you
ahead.
think? Because remember how many? It was what, like 40 years for Kareem's record. Do you think what we ever? I don't know if we even be alive. Will we ever see somebody break 40,000 points again?
And not playing 65 games a year.
No.
There you go.
Uh,
Not playing
mm,
65 games a
Right,
year.
you ain't gonna get it with
I,
them
I
no.
55.
can't I can't see, Will, honestly, this next generation, and this is a no bum, no hate conversation. I'm not old man, get off my lawn, but y'all like days off a lot in your
Oh yeah,
generation.
for sure.
I'm not, again, no anger. I work too much probably, but y'all don't like love this stuff. And you like what basketball brings to you. You like what football brings to you. You like what these things bring to you. But man, ain't nobody try to hustle like that no more. George, am I old man? Get off my lawn. Or what do you
No.
think?
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, and nobody's gonna play long enough to do that. And see, this is the one thing that gets to me about. And no, let me stop right now because there's no hate on LeBron for this because that's the first thing that's gonna happen. But all these records and things that he's accumulated have been because he has been in the league forever. A whole lot of it, a big factor there has been he's been in the league.
But he
LeBron,
is playing at a very good level where you saw Larry Bird fall off the cliff. You
um,
saw Zeke not be able to get to the lane anymore. He's still balling.
Yes, he is. I mean, think of the technology, the things we do with their
Yeah.
bodies and stuff. I mean, LeBron spends, I'm gonna leave the whole steroid thing alone. But LeBron stays, working out and in the sleeping in the oxygen tank and all these other, doing all these new and different things, so he keeps himself together. He followed the Tom Brady script, because Tom Brady did the same thing, and we go through, and so he has the opportunity to do this, but it's only because of the longevity. It's not any, because everybody else fell apart. Do you really think if Kobe was in the same spot, Kobe would not just shatter 40,000 points? Come on, man. I mean, they didn't have the same technology. They were doing how they were taking care of their bodies. They were doing all kinds of different things. So I mean that they are now. So
All
yeah.
right. So, story of the week, folks. Team USA basketball. The Olympics is coming up this summer, and now we are starting to see our Team USA roster come into shape. So, fellas, LeBron James is a lock, according to reports. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, and Jason Tatum are among the players considered locks for making the roster. In addition, I believe Drew Holiday is considered a lock. So
Who?
there's 6 spots left. This is what reports are saying. This is not Dr. Adams. This is I read voraciously or whatever. So there's 6 spots remaining. You got Devin Booker as a possibility, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Tyrese Halliburton, and the Clippers of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So, Will, we're 5 months away. Now you guys want to play? what are you thinking about Team USA, sir?
It's hard to get on top of that, man. I mean, granted we went to FIBA last year. We got beat pretty well. We beat with and the team was is what it is. It just kind of hurts me that the USA loses and all of a sudden they're like, we need our squad. We need everybody come in. Come on, LeBron, come over here. Tatum, come. I'm like, man, like I get you're the best in the world. Like I don't know, man. That's what US. That's what they do. That's what we do. We lose. We say, "Oh, we ain't gonna lose," and we pull all the guns in with all the people in the joint, and then now we blow people out 40 points, 30 points, just to see a bunch of stars. I mean, I get it. I mean, because at the end of the day, remember, you're gonna be on the world stage, and you're gonna have kids who've never seen LeBron, you've never seen Jason Tatum. You ain't trying to see Austin Reeves. You ain't trying to see all these other bums on this team. You want to see stars, It sucks because I wish they just stuck with the team. They worked who they had and they try to fight through that adversity. But they're gonna get the stars. They're gonna run. We should get the gold. I mean, I see a reason why we should get the gold. No problem.
No. George, what are you thinking about Team USA coming in the shape? What are you thinking about the locks and the potential fill-in?
Okay, so we've gone to. I see a pattern for me now. We can put a team and this is the NBA's own fault. All right, so the game gets globalized. They pushed it to get globalized. You take a few all-stars out there, a couple, second-year players, whatever, and then you lose. And when we lose, then what do we got to do? Oh, let's go dust off the mega stars.
There you go.
We can come out there and prove a point that we are still the best place to play basketball in the world. It's just how it is. And, we go on this whirlwind PR tour where Silver can have the NBA be like the one global commodity because all these little kids and people going to run around talk about how great the Jason Tatums and everybody else. And by the way, with that cavalcade of stars that you listed, and then you go and Drew Holiday. What?
Right.
Somebody's got to play defense. You think Steph getting skinny off the screen? And closing out hard.
LeBron, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday. Hey,
Drew, you get a seat at the table. Come on now.
Somebody's got to play defense, man. All right, we're going with that.
Lord.
When we get back on the Yacht Coaches podcast, we're going to put our analyst hat on and see what the Charlotte Hornets are doing to try to get out of this rut. We'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yacht Coaches podcast. As George is still mad at Drew Holiday. In segment 2, let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets, man. The Charlotte Hornets are planning to hire Brooklyn Nets executive Jeff Peterson, DeMatha alum, by the way. 0.5 is a freshman at DeMatha, as the franchise's next head of basketball operations. He's 35. He has put the work in, and we're very excited about him having this opportunity. He's worked with Sean Marks. He is a former college basketball player in the Big Ten, SEC and ACC for Iowa, Arkansas, and Florida State. So let's talk about roster building. The Hornets made a lot of moves, fellas, ahead of the trade deadline to start gathering assets and young players, including 2 future first-round draft picks and trades that sent out Terry Rozier and P.J. Washington. You got Brandon Miller, number 2 pick last year. You got LaMelo Ball. You've got facility upgrades. They're doing renovations. They're building a practice facility. So it seems that they have a plan to get better. George, as a former athletic director who's hired very good coaches, who's won a lot of games, what do you think about the Hornets' plan to get out of the bottom and rise to the top?
Well, this is a makeup call, all right, because we're trying to redo what happened. Because if you remember, they did this a couple years ago, and they had a solid squad, but they did not really do a real good job of background checking with the squad that they put together. Mr. Bridges gets in trouble with a couple of internet chicks and a couple guns, and next thing you know, he's out the league. LaMelo's been back and forth. He's an asset, but LaMelo loves being on IG and all this. And they had a cavalcade. That group right there was trouble walking. Then they thought they were doing something by bringing in a veteran, by bringing in I forgot dude's name, brought him in, but it didn't stop him because the behavior didn't stop. So what do you do in the league? You can only do one of two things. Either you bring in a bunch of vets and just stay mediocre, or you start over from the beginning and you try to rebuild again. And this is their rebuilding thing. So this time, I guess they're hoping that they get somebody that can keep this group under control, and they bring in a kid with a bunch of kids with a different demeanor or different outlook, because the last time because I think they made the playoffs that one year and then turned right around and lost like at least 2 dudes to suspension the very next season. So we'll see how it goes. Don't let the inmates run the asylum. That's all I got to say.
All right, Will, what are you thinking about Charlotte? Because you're not happy with our local franchise. So what do you think?
They're kind of in the same boat. I mean, LaMelo Ball, the kid he's an amazing talent. But again, availability is the best ability. And he's just not there. I think the biggest thing for me has been just like the Ball brother. That those years and playing those BBB shoes and messing up your kinetic chain on your feet, I think that messed up both of their legs. I think both their knees are messed up. I think they're going to be degenerative. It depends on what Hornets want to do. Do you want to put all your money or all your chips on LaMelo Ball, or do you want to stand fresh and be like, man, get rid of that kid. Let's go with Brandon Miller. You can't waffle. That's the worst thing you can do, especially trying to be an organization trying to make the next step. Who is going to be the person who's going to lead? That's I guess what they're going to have to see. If it was me, I would say let's Brandon Miller be the guy. Until LaMelo Ball shows that he can be available and consistently play. But I think that's the biggest thing for them. The money, they're doing a great job in terms of investing, renovation, trying to bring in new fans, trying to bring in new people. You're going to allow that from LaMelo Ball, so that's why you probably don't want to get rid of him. But I think you really have to decide: do you want LaMelo Ball as an IG star, as your foundation, or do you want Brandon Miller, who just seems like he's more focused on basketball than LaMelo Ball is right now? So we'll see what happens, but you got to start with the investment. So they're making that part happen, but they have a lot of decisions to make in the end of the year. I don't think they're going to do too much next year either, but we'll see what decisions they make.
But Will, they made that decision when they got rid of Rozier. Before they said we're going to jump on Melo's back, and we're going to ride it. But they weren't expecting Terry Rozier to get caught up with the girl and the gun. So they had a whole problem. So I think I'm sorry, not Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges, I'm calling her. Yeah. So that just, so the question now is where, and I give them credit because they are not afraid to pack it all in and start all over, which the Wizards have been afraid to do. And they have packed it. They've done this as a second revamp. So they're going to do it again, and we're going to see what happens. I just think that they got to have a real good group of of kids, because it's going to be kids in there that are ready to work and really want to win, as opposed to a group of dudes that just want to be IG stars. Because I think most of those dudes were worried more about how many followers they had than they were about basketball.
George, since you brought that up, I want to bring this up to both of you. I was talking to some college coaches. We're fortunate to be independent, so people will speak freely to us. And one of the coaches said to me that, "Hey, Adams, when they sign an NBA deal, it is literally for this generation of kids the first time they can't move. They are locked into a deal. So in high school, they transfer here and yonder. College, they transfer here and yonder. Now you just signed first round draft pick, 5-year deal with a club option. So you don't even have the option. So when things aren't going well, this is literally their first time facing adversity. So Charlotte, OKC, all of these teams with assets, man, that first round draft pick, especially if they have moved a few times, no hate there. They might not like Charlotte as a city. They might not like their playing time. They might not like. George, what are your thoughts in terms of that additional knowledge and Charlotte's plan in terms of bringing these young people together to build an organization?
I'm fine with it, because if they don't want to make the commitment to the team or to win, okay, bye-bye, see you later. Let them go. I mean, they have to understand. See, the one thing about it is, these kids keep moving and moving, but at a certain point in time, the rubber meets the road, and it becomes, you understand, it ain't about you. It's about the business. It's about the team. So you can go ahead and be an IG star and get as many likes as you want and do all this other stuff, but they're going to continue to flop around. They're trying to build something, and I applaud Charlotte, because they blew it up again. When you're not afraid to blow it up and start all over again, because you know something's broken, instead of continue to put band-aids on it, you're in for the long haul and you're trying to build something. I think the Wizards could take a lot of notes from the whole situation, because it's been 20 years that they needed to do this, but they haven't. So, we'll see. I know Charlotte will not be timid, that if this iteration doesn't work out, they will not be timid to go through it and do it again.
Will, what are you thinking about what I said? Hey, these guys have not had to stay. Now they have to stay. Will that work out for them?
We'll see, man. I mean, like George said, man, this generation, they're afraid. They don't want to fight through. They're not. They want the best situation. Unfortunately, making the situation your best situation. I mean, that's outside of basketball. That's about life. We all don't get everything. It's sometimes an up, sometimes down. That builds character. They just, and like you guys said, if you have any adversity, you go to a different team. You have any trouble at school, you can change school. Or you couldn't go here, go play over here. You don't really get to see how they react to adversity. And I think that's a big thing for these guys, especially now with IG, because now they're getting social and stuff. I don't get a moment to get away. It's, oh man, look at the guys above. Oh man, you can't da 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 da. You hear that all the time, as opposed to when we were growing up, you heard it on the court, and then you go home, it's whatever. So I just don't think they have the mentality to really push in. I don't think, it's hard to believe. Again, based on where their organization is, especially in Charlotte, I mean, you can turn down 3, 4, 5 times. Nobody really gonna care. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looking for the Charlotte Hornets. Oh, you cheered it down. Oh, all right, man. I like
Charlotte. It's a lovely city.
That's what everybody says. And that's what everybody says, Coach. Man, I like Charlotte. And you talk about the city.
There.
You ain't talking about the team. You're talking about the city.
The Queen City. Got the Panthers, It's a nice place to be. I like it. Cost of living's not bad.
I'm telling you, they have And look, they're just happy to be here. Look, we're happy to be here. Just keep our basketball. We don't want no chips. We want a couple wins. If you make the playoffs, great. There's no pressure. So they can test a lot of things, NFL or so we'll see. But there's no pressure for to win in Charlotte.
I tell you what, though, if they do win, that place will blow up. Charlotte will be a whole new situation. They will go crazy. Oh, yeah.
Drinks go up.
Yeah, they're gonna be like this. They're gonna be like this. The new Atlanta.
Oh Lord, okay. With that being said, fans, we get back. WNBA draft preview. They got a new sheriff in town coming. We'll see how that works. We'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yacht Coaches podcast. Shout out to Freak Nick 95. In segment 3, we will talk about the WNBA draft. Brooklyn is in the house. The 2024 WNBA draft will be held April 15th, just about 5 weeks away at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. The WNBA made that announcement. The draft will be televised by the worldwide leader ESPN from 7:30 to 9:30, and tickets for about 1,000 fans are going to be made available. So that should be a nice atmosphere. And of course, the Indiana Fever have the number 1 pick. And just this past week, Caitlin Clark said, formally, I am done with college. So here is what the projected draft order is, according to some media reports. Indiana, number 1, will pick Caitlin Clark. The LA Sparks, again, and some media reports will pick Cameron Brink from Stanford, somebody to watch in the March Madness, if you will. Chicago Sky will pick Regia Jackson. Sparks and so forth. The fellas have the notes on the screen. Is this a 1980 moment? That's kind of what I want to get. You're looking at the list of potential players, but Caitlin Clark's going to bring eyeballs to the project. They're going to bring eyeballs to the WNBA. She's a lock at number 1. If Indiana and Midwest doesn't get her, I don't know what they're going to do. And she gets to pair with Aaliyah Boston, which I think will be a fascinating conversation on a pick and roll. So, Will, as somebody who has watched women's basketball over the years, what are you thinking about the WNBA draft and Caitlin Clark coming out? And now we've got something.
The crazy thing is, and first of all, she is amazing. I watched her play. She is very, very good. But I want to ask a question. Why wouldn't you enter the NBA draft?
Slow down.
Why not? Now, no, I'm saying, like, now see,
what is in your coffee?
But I'm asking, what is that? What does it at the worst, she doesn't get drafted. At the worst. At the best, she's the first woman to ever be drafted in the NBA.
That wouldn't be correct. That's Ann Myers.
It is. But in the new, I guess this new era of the last time, why not? Now again, she's going to be amazing where she goes. Indiana is going to get a duo punch. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be great. And I think she's definitely going to catapult the sport WNBA. But I asked for money. Why not throw your hat in the ring? Even if
George,
nobody's
I'll
not going
let
to
you
pick you.
respond to that, sir.
I got no response. I mean, what is he?
Why not? What does she have to lose for throwing her hat in the ring to be in the NBA
Nobody
draft?
is going to air quote waste one of the 60 picks you get on that piece.
No, nobody's going to draft her. That's number one. But number two on this whole situation, she is committed to growing the women's game.
Okay.
So why would you sully it by even saying, "Oh, I'm gonna try to play NBA basketball"? Which we got because you have so many different things here. The ball's smaller. You got the little technical things, and then you're gonna go through a whole fight about the girls' game versus the boys' game. I mean, it's ridiculous. Her money.
Right. But if she doesn't get drafted, she still ends up in the WNBA and she moves the game where she is. It doesn't change. It's just good for publicity. I think it's good. It shocks the world. It's shock the world. People are like, what? It'll be people that you won't even heard of. Will be like, I've never even heard of this woman. She's going to join the NBA. Oh my God! Like this. My wife does not know who Caitlin Clark is. I'll be right now. If she were to say, I'm going to the NBA, my wife would know who she is. She know where she played.
You seeing UFOs flying over DC too, right?
Man, I see everything. I see all.
Conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories.
But I'm seriously, marketing wise, she would be bigger than it because again, we're growing the game. We're trying.
Well, she is the girls' game right now. This is like the best time for the WNBA because you got the two hottest products coming out. That's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And they are the most.
My wife don't even know who they are.
Okay, but your wife ain't paying attention. I'm saying.
They're fans. What do you mean? They don't even know if they even tried. Even if they put their hat in the ring and say, I want to try this.
Unfortunately or fortunately, that won't happen. But my quick take on Caitlin Clark, the WNBA game is going to provide her more space to move. So that's going to be good. Pairing her with Aaliyah Boston, especially in a high pick and roll situation, that's going to be tough because if you go under the screen, she's going to knock it in. And if you go over the screen, Aaliyah Boston's going to finish. She is going to get fewer shot attempts, though, and a lot of attention is going to be paid to her on defense. George, with that being said, what do you think Indiana picking her first is going to have in terms of impact on the WNBA?
It's going to be interesting to see because like I said before with the women's game, because you have these two hot properties coming, can that momentum come to the WNBA and push the needle for them? That's going to be the big one. Offensively, she's going to take her lumps. I mean, she doesn't guard anybody, so we're going to have to see what happens with that. And of course, the WNBA game is more physical than the college game. I think that they're going to adjust to her, just like the young lady now that came out of Oregon. They adjust to her too. She still scores, but she don't score like she does at Washington. Kelsey Plum didn't do the same thing, and Caitlin Clark broke Kelsey Plum's record, and Kelsey Plum in college was just putting it up. So now she doesn't get the opportunity to do that because of the way defense is played. I mean, they get through the pick and roll. I mean, get through the high pick and screening and with the jumper. So she's going to have an impact. We're going to see she's going to have to adjust her game to play in there because every girl in there, every other woman in the league is looking at her like, you're not coming in here stealing my thunder. It's a whole lot like coming into the in the NBA for the men. Somebody's going to prove a point, so you're going to have your come to welcome to the league moment. So she's going to get it. I expect her to adjust. I expect her to be real good. I expect her to be a really good WNBA player. But she will adjust, but it's going to take her a minute. I'm more interested to see that all the glitz, glam, and hoopla, the way we've been following Caitlin Clark around and sitting on to see what what Angel Reese is going to say next and what trouble she's going to get into, if that's going to follow them into the WNBA. And that's going to give that league a whole lot of, whole lot more clout, and people going to get people to start paying real attention to them.
All right. Well, to close out this week, I do want to say a lot of attention was paid, jokes, no jokes, what have you, about Caitlin Clark taking a pay cut. Well, folks, yeah, that's just a joke. When you're a professional, you have lens and avenues to all types of things you don't have as an amateur. So let's just, end that speculation right now. And it did give us pause. Yeah, a couple of jokes here and there. Oh, you're going to take a pay? Yeah, no, she's not. Okay, she's not. She's gonna, transform in terms of marketing the WNBA, because she's gonna come off of March Madness along with several other players who will captivate the country's attention and then get drafted. I think if the WNBA markets very well, they can use this as a springboard. So looking forward to checking that out, as well as following the league as we go on in the future. But on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. We will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.